Good morning, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now, coming to you from our digital desk. We want to take you to some breaking news that we're just getting very few details in on at this point. Police showed up to this apartment building. It's in downtown. It's on the edge of the CSU campus. We'll show you a map here in just a second. 2344 Prospect Avenue is the actual address in downtown. This is the Milton Manor Apartments. It's across the street from Cleveland State. It's kind of on the edge there. You can see a number of officers, a number of police have been called to this building because we're getting reports that at least one shot was fired inside that apartment building, perhaps in a hallway by one of the residents. The question is, what's the situation now? We know that no one has been hit. At this point, there are no injuries that we know of, but this may be an issue where they are now having to try and talk with or deal with an individual who's already fired a shot and is maybe in some type of negotiation with police or some type of standoff situation. Again, this happened just before 11 o'clock, so we're within about a half an hour of this incident occurring. We don't see any kind of SWAT team being prepared at this time, but I do want to show you a map of the area to give you sort of an idea. You can see Progressive Field, lower left-hand corner. You go up just a few blocks on Carnegie, up to 23rd, and then Prospect. And it's, again, just about 2 blocks from the Wolstein Center is where we are dealing with. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll bring us down to the street level so that we can see the exact building that we are dealing with here for this address. The Milton Manor Apartments on Prospect Avenue is where this situation is happening. I'm going to drop us down to street level here so that we can get a better idea of which one are the Milton Manor Apartments. Let's see the address here. That's 2344. This is the building. It's offset from the street. Let's go forward just one click here to get a better look at the apartments. Milton Manor, very strange looking building, just pushed back from the road. And as we look live here, we're seeing a stretcher come out. No one on the stretcher. I'm not sure if they are headed to the building or away from the building. There's no one on there. As you can see in these live pictures, they are headed toward the Milton Manor Apartments. We can see some individuals now coming out of the front door, but they are headed in to the Milton Manor Apartments. So not exactly sure what that means at this time. If there perhaps is an injury, is this a suspect that might be injured? But as you just saw, a stretcher from EMS has just been taken into the building, or toward the building at least. There at the Milton Manor Apartments. This, again, all started shortly before 11 o'clock. Police were called to this building for the report of at least one shot fired inside the building. From what we understand, that shot may have been fired maybe in a hallway area, and that the initial call, there was no injury. And we're starting to see some people come out. Let's see what we have here. So it looks like, oh, there is an individual on a stretcher there. Not sure. Looked like that individual was talking. Not sure what this individual's role is in all of this. You have to remember that that may not be the suspect. That could be somebody that maybe had a medical condition inside the building because of what's going on. So not exactly sure who that individual is and what role they have played or not played in all of this. So we'll have to wait to get information from the police department. We see that there was some sort of tactical team that was inside at the time. Again, we're not exactly sure who this individual is. and what role this individual may or may not have played. I was trying to see there as they wheeled by if we could see if the individual's hands were behind him or if, again, and I think we just heard. Just from listening to the radio traffic there of the officers, we heard one in custody. So this issue may be all but over here. As you could hear the radios just on the scene there. A little bit of radio traffic saying one in custody. So let's see if this is about to be resolved, if that individual may have played a bigger role in this than we know. Again, breaking news, one shot fired inside an apartment building in downtown Cleveland. This is on 23rd and Prospect. The building itself is called the Milton Manor. It's located very near the Cleveland State University campus, maybe a block or two off the campus. One shot was fired. We're not aware of any injuries. We can see they're letting people now cross the street. That's a Cleveland State University police officer that was helping with maybe some of the traffic control there. From what we understand, this was not on the campus, the actual campus. This may be across the street. That's why Cleveland State is maybe just helping out with some traffic situation. But they're letting traffic flow again through that area, so that's a pretty good indication that this may be over again. Was just listening to some of the noise there at the scene, and you definitely heard a radio go out, a radio transmission, one in custody, as we see officers now starting to leave the area. So what we're going to do is wrap up our live coverage here. As there does appear to be an individual who was taken by EMS, placed in the ambulance there, and we will wait to get further details on what that individual's role may or may not have been in all of this. Not making any assumptions about who that individual was. We'll have to wait for the police to confirm exactly what happened, but apparently at least one shot fired in the Milton Manor Apartments. And there is now one in custody. Of course, the concern was that this is across the street from the Cleveland State University, and just wanting to make sure that everything is safe and handled, and it does appear to be the case as traffic is now beginning to move again on Prospect Avenue. Make sure you tune into our later newscasts to get updates and details on what occurred here on Prospect Avenue. Our 11 o'clock news is going on right now, but we will have our noon news on Channel 19, and then our early news starts at 3 o'clock with 3.5 hours of breaking news and the very latest weather. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now. Have a good afternoon.
19 News. First, fair, every